Welcome. Happy Sunday, you guys. Hold on. I just got down here, actually. Happy Sunday. Danita, I see you. How are you in Tennessee with the storm and everything? How are you? Welcome, everybody. I'm here. I got to get the lights turned on. Turn on the lights. Okay. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Something in my eye, you guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Y'all, there's something in my eye. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I think I got it. Again, happy Sunday for like the third time that I just said. How are y'all? How is everybody? Happy Sunday. Of course, if you are new here, of course, I want to know where you're from. Tell me where you are from. I think we have a lot of new people, you guys. YouTube family, we do this every Sunday, but I know we got a lot of new people. I see you, Amato, from Florida. You guys, welcome. Come in. We can talk. You guys, tell me where you're from. I always like to know where you are from. I don't make you talk a lot on here unless you have questions, but tell me where you are from, and then I will jump in, do a little introduction that I always do, you guys. You know how this goes. Dallas, Texas, I see you. Dallas, Texas. I know Houston, Texas was on the foreclosure list. Y'all know how I do. As soon as you say a city, I'm like, okay, Charlotte. I'm always like, my mind goes to, okay, are they on the foreclosure list? Are they on the REO list? North Carolina, DC, I see you. So we got the Northeast, we got the South, we got Dallas. I know we got Florida. I know we got Tennessee. I already know. Tennessee, right down the road from me. Amato, I've missed you. I haven't seen you. Like Florida, you're usually my Florida, or one of my Florida people. Costa Mesa. Oh, you are on the list. Costa Mesa for sure. California. You were on the list of the top 10 cities with the greatest percent of foreclosures. What number were you, Costa Mesa? You were on the list for sure. Memphis, right here in my hometown. Well, where I live. My hometown is Chicago, you guys. I give people a little time to come on. I love seeing where everybody's from. So we got a lot of South. We got everybody, right? California, DC. We got everybody. You're on vacation, I understand. Miami. Y'all are on the list too, Miami. Y'all were on the list too. And most people are like, not Miami. Miami for sure. Y'all were on the, I just pulled it up. And we'll go over the whole, foreclosures, REOs. I know we got a lot of new people. Y'all saw my video went viral. Y'all like 700,000 views. I know a lot of y'all found me from that video. Welcome to everybody who found me from that video, actually. Insane. I guess the algorithm gave me a good birthday present, right? Like, I don't know what happened, but we're all here. I'm happy to have everybody who is new here. Welcome. I do this probably almost every Sunday. Sometimes I go live Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Clearly, if I just don't have anything to do all weekend, right? I just sit here on YouTube and talk about auctions and real estate and all that. So, greetings, Cordova, Tennessee, right here. Got you. I'm going to help you guys. You'll see as we go along, ask questions. That's why I do this, right? So you can ask questions. So, let's jump in. 8:03, people come in. Okay, so real quick, before I forget, you guys, welcome. I am Ashley Pickens. I am here in Memphis, Tennessee, you guys. I have been in real estate since 2006, right? 2006 is when I got licensed as a real estate agent. I've also been a real estate broker over a firm with like 30 agents, you guys. But most people know me because I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. I am the one that says going once, going twice, sold. That is me. No, I do not talk super fast, okay? I do not talk super fast. I auction here in Memphis, parts of Mississippi, sometimes Nashville. I just hold down the South right here, okay? So I've been doing that for the last almost 6 years, auctioning off foreclosures. I am contracted through foreclosure attorneys here, so I work for the attorneys that represent the banks, okay? So, Miami. Okay, Miami. I feel like Miami kind of representing tonight. Okay, Miami. Welcome, Julian. Welcome. So, I focus on the distressed market. If you are new here, that is what I love. That is what I'm obsessed with. Welcome everybody, who's normally here, but welcome to the new people. So I focus on like foreclosures. I don't really do short sales, but foreclosures are my jam, and REOs and everything that has to do with the distressed market. Okay. So I'm like really kind of obsessed, honestly, you guys. I am obsessed. So welcome. If you have questions, absolutely ask them. I will look and see and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about foreclosure numbers. I did November's rental. Let's do foreclosure numbers, and then we'll go back to that article, that video that I did that went super viral, right, you guys? Because I gave those numbers like every month. And y'all, some people tried to come for me. Did y'all see that? If y'all saw the post on Instagram, some people tried to come for your girl, right? Like I don't do this every month, but I guess they just found me. And I'll have to say this, you guys. So the video, I talked about November's mortgage defaults, the homeowners in default for the month of November, right? And then in the same video, I said, and if you want auction websites, commercial land, residential, government owned, comment website for the websites. So I guess it was kind of like, you know what I mean? I was talking about the people who were behind on their mortgage, and then I turned around and gave auction websites. And I guess if you hadn't seen me before, that seemed kind of mean. But y'all, I literally do that I do that all the time, right? But anyway, so I got a little pushback from that, but all good. Welcome to all of the new people who are here, who know that I'm not like a mean person, I guess. Oh well. So let's talk about, something was on my face. Foreclosures, REOs for November. But we all know how I feel about most numbers that come out in articles and reports. I feel like most numbers are underreported, even though I have noticed that banks aren't foreclosing on people right now. They literally are not, right? So right now we have, let's see, 32,000 properties for the month of November with foreclosure filings. So foreclosure filings are that default notice, that first notice that goes out when people get behind on their mortgage. Then we have scheduled auctions, which we know what that is. When they schedule you, they say you're behind 30 days, you need to catch up, or your house is going up for auction in 30 days, right? Or a bank repossession. Basically, the house doesn't sell at auction and the bank repossesses it. So we've got 32,000 properties with foreclosure filings for the month of November. Could be true. I feel like it's a ton of people who the banks have just not foreclosed on them, right? And it's the holidays, and there's usually a holiday moratorium, right? And we know COVID forbearance lifted November 30th. So we'll see. I think January, February is where we will see some more numbers. Maybe February, March. But it's supposed to be like summer 2024 is when the trickle is going to start, right? Not the whole, but the trickle, right? So I was watching this video, you guys, of a guy in Jacksonville, Florida. He is following builders in Florida, that have overbuilt, because they're saying Florida is going to be the epicenter again for the foreclosure wave. Florida and San Antonio, Texas are supposed to be the hot spots again. Because y'all know I'm trying to get my beach house for how much? $35.72. That's how much I want to pay for my beach house when it's all said and done. So let's talk about highest foreclosure rates. We're in Delaware, Maryland. These are the states: Delaware, Maryland, Ohio, South Carolina, and New Jersey. Okay, so cities, that's Bakersfield, California, Cleveland, Ohio, Canton, Ohio, Columbia, South Carolina, and Stockton, California. If y'all were around during the last housing crash, y'all know Stockton, California was like huge. Like when the foreclosures hit in the market crash, Stockton. And again, they are on this list again. Okay? So, other cities. I did a video about this. Other cities: Cleveland, Ohio, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Riverside, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada are also on that list. So, lenders only repossessed about 2,500 properties. Y'all, I think we're still sitting at, I don't think we have hit 50,000 for this year as far as foreclosures go, which is not normal. I say this all the time. Like in a normal housing market, people buy houses, sell houses, and foreclose in a normal housing market. That's what happens, right? So even like 2017, 2018, like we had like 200,000 foreclosures in those years, right? I think 2021 we had 25,000 foreclosures for the whole year. You guys, we got so many like houses in the pipe, right? That have not, when COVID hit, it just stopped everything, and now we just waiting to see. Like it's people who have not paid their mortgage since COVID. You guys, since COVID, right? And Danita can confirm this. She's got a client. You guys get this. Get this, you guys. It confirms. It confirms what we say. Like people who have not paid in 2 years that are not in foreclosure. She's got a client, you guys. The guy bought his house in January 2022. Hear me. January 2022, he bought his house. The guy died, y'all. 2 weeks later, you guys, 2 weeks later, never made a payment because he died, right? He died. Y'all, the house is just now going up for auction next month, the 24th. January 24th, 2024. It has taken that house 2 years of no payments to finally go into foreclosure. All I'm saying is, he's not the only one, right? He is not the only one. Especially when I see these numbers, like I said in November's article, we got like 5 million people behind. And the numbers have always been like 5 million people for like the last 2 years, you guys. Probably like the last 3 years. How long? When was COVID? Was 2020. And we're coming up on 2024. Like the last 3 years. Like it's people who have not paid their mortgage in like 3 years. That's all I'm saying. So, Houston, we had a problem. Okay, let's talk about REO properties, right? So we all understand, and I'll talk about auctions a little bit for people who want to know or don't really understand the auction process. REOs are properties that go up for auction, right? That I auction off and I can't sell them. They don't sell at auction. Usually that opening bid is too high, right? And I'm seeing the opening bid being too high on properties that were just bought in the last 3 years, like 2020, 21, 22. Okay, yeah, 22, because we're in 23. Yeah, people are foreclosing. It's a lot of investors who are foreclosing on properties right now. Last week, I think it was like a builder out of Texas. I don't know. I shared this like on the auction schedule because I can see like, even though I do Shelby County, I can still see like when I look at the schedule, right? I can see other cities. That's what I post when I always post it on Instagram. I can see the other cities' auctions and like what they sold for. So I guess a builder in Texas, because all it showed was like the street name, right? And the opening bids were like $9,000 and $10,000. And it was like a whole bunch of them. So I think it was just the land, right? And maybe a builder, I'm not going to say he went bankrupt, but maybe a builder, some of his land went into foreclosure. Because all it was the street names. There was no address, right? And I mean, the opening bids were like $9,000 and $10,000. So that's about how much land, you know what I mean? So it was a bunch of that in Texas last week, 2 weeks ago. So, let me read. How do banks determine an opening bid? So the opening bid is usually the loan balance, right? So That's why a lot of properties aren't selling at auction. If they just bought in the last 3 years, they owe that whole loan, right? Like, y'all know when you get a home loan, the first few years is just like interest payments, right? So, and especially people who bought 21, 22 who overbid. Think about that, right? It's a lot of opening bids that I'm seeing where the opening bid amount is higher than what the property is actually worth now, right? You know, because y'all know, like a couple years ago when y'all were, not y'all, people were bidding 40, 50,000 above asking, right? And now that the market has cooled off now, so they still owe that whole loan from 2, 3 years ago, right? I'm seeing properties that are foreclosing that were bought in 2022. They owe that whole loan, right? So if you overbid and you owe, let's say the house is $345,000, you owe that whole loan, you don't pay it, now the property is up for foreclosure, the opening bid is going to be $345,000. And let's say your neighbors have started selling, the market has cooled off, people are doing price reductions, and so now that house is really only worth $325,000. Nobody's going to buy that at auction, right? Opening bid $345,000, house is worth $325,000. Ain't nobody buying that at the auction, right? So it's a lot of properties that are reverting back to the bank, and they will become an REO property, okay? Because at the auction, you want to buy a property that makes sense, right? It's got to make sense for an investor. You're not overpaying at the auction. You could just buy on market if that's the case, right? So that's why the REO market is going to see an absolute influx in the next couple of years because people are foreclosing. You know what I mean? Like, who just bought. And I always say, think about people who like bought homes in 2019, right? If you bought a house in 2019 and then COVID hit and you lost your job or you lost a spouse, right? Like, I've talked to a lot of people who just, COVID, that is usually everybody's reason when they call me if they're in foreclosure. They're like, we could just not come back from COVID. Or they lost their job and they couldn't get a job to replace it, right? They got a job, but it wasn't making the same amount of money, right? So it's a lot of those people. You know, here's an article that I found. I won't go there right now, but talking about, it's a lot of people struggling to hold on right now. Let me just say, because of that buy now, refinance later. If you're new here, you will understand how I feel about that. I do not think we should say that. I'm a real estate agent. I don't think we should say that at all, right? It is a lot of people struggling. So think about people who were told they could buy now, refinance later in January. You guys, it is December and mortgage rates have not gone down, right? They have just steady gone up. So if you bought a house in January, February, and you were just praying that rates were going to go down, you are struggling. And keep in mind, right? I think the part that's missing from the narrative of buy now, refinance later, nobody talks about how you refinance, right? It's just something that people are saying. Buy now, refinance later. Tell people that in order to refinance, it's like getting that whole loan again, you guys. Check stubs, bank statements, pay stubs. What if somebody loses their job, right, you guys? You can't refinance. If you were struggling with this mortgage payment, hoping rates will go down, you better not pay late, right? Because that's going to hit your credit, and then you're not going to be able to refinance, right? Like, it's more than what people are saying. Don't let you max out your credit card trying to pay this mortgage that you can't pay. You know what I mean? Max out a credit card. There goes your credit score and you can't refinance, right? Like, it's not that easy. And I think the real estate industry is like, buy now, refinance later. You guys, all I'm saying is it's not that easy to refinance. And nobody is talking about the process it takes to refinance, right? Nobody is saying that. And I've heard of a lot of people getting denied trying to refinance. And it's like, but, I've never bought into that. And I feel like even the NAR, National Association of Realtors, like their big people are saying, buy now, refinance later. Y'all don't do that. That is not even how you should go into buying a house. Is I hope that one day I can refinance it. I'll just struggle for 3 months until I can refinance. That is not how you go into buying a house. Okay, that's like not even the right mindset. When you buy a house, you are signing saying, I can pay this mortgage for 30 years, regardless of if I can refinance or not, right? So I am not one of those agents that say, buy now, refinance later, because they coming straight to me at the auction. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You sending a client straight to me into foreclosure. That's all I'm saying. So, I actually have an article. Right, you guys? Got an article. 84% of recent home buyers plan on refinancing. Right? So, let's talk about this. Most recent home buyers, 82%, were assured, I'm so country, they could buy now and refinance later. Right? And imagine people who got adjustable rate mortgages. Y'all look. Let's see. Over half of recent buyers, 55%, regret taking out a mortgage when rates were high. Most home buyers, 78%, are at least somewhat stressed that rates are expected to stay elevated for the rest of 2023. You guys, that is not how you buy a house. Like, that's not even the mindset, right? Like, you need to be able to afford your mortgage comfortably, right? Not barely. Because, if you're struggling to pay a mortgage, y'all, it's more expenses that come with buying a home besides the mortgage. And y'all, we going into the winter. So let's not act like if somebody get these storms are storming. The storms be storming, right? Let a tree fall the wrong way, right? Let a pipe burst in your house, right? And you can barely pay your mortgage. You can't pay for these expenses if something happens, right? That's why you got to be able to afford your mortgage comfortably. Not hoping and praying that you can refinance. Don't nobody know when the rates are going down, right? Everybody predicting and speculating, and usually in history, nobody knows when the rates are going down. Nobody, right? And after you sign that paper, it's between you, the mortgage company, and God when it comes to paying that mortgage, is all I'm saying. So, what was I was something else. Oh, let me read. This is why you guys should check out the... You're so funny. Thank you, Danita. You the best. You are the best. She's talking about the auction accelerator. I have a course. If you're going to the auction, y'all check out the course. Use code BIRTHDAY. Use code BIRTHDAY. It teaches you everything that you need to know before you go to the auction. Since Danita started, I also have a free checklist, you guys. Check the description below. Absolutely free. It's a checklist before you go to the auction. Just download it. Boom. If you are really, really serious about going to the auction, get the course. It teaches you how to do a title search, which is what y'all need to learn how to do. So, for a handful of home buyers, their financial security depends on their ability to refinance to a lower rate in the future. About 1 in 8, 13%, say they don't think that they can keep making their mortgage payments if they can't refinance. If they're unable to pay, 25% would request mortgage forbearance, 22% would apply for a loan modification, and 13% would sell their home. A few respondents answered that they would have to declare bankruptcy. Y'all, these are people who just bought their house in the last 12 months. Like, what in the world? Right? Like, look, that's going to be a whole nother wave of foreclosures. Right there. Foreclosures are already going to come in a wave. We got the people who got caught with COVID who were in foreclosure. COVID saved them. They got to come through the pipe. We got people who thought they could buy now or refinance later. They're coming through the pipe. We got investors who bought up a ton of properties and can't get off of them. They got to come through the pipe. Y'all, it's a bunch of shoot. We got 5 million people who ain't paid their mortgage in 2 years. So, all I'm saying is they're coming, right? So, don't y'all go out and buy any flat screen TVs. Don't y'all buy no flat screen TVs. Don't you stand in line. Don't you go crazy holiday shopping. Do not max out your credit cards. Don't do any of that kind of stuff, you guys. Just save your coins. So when the window of opportunity opens, you can be ready, is all I'm saying. Because y'all know I'm getting my beach house in Florida on the beach for $14.23. Just wait. Just wait. What else was I going to tell you? Okay. Anyway, Johnny Quinn. I'm looking in Brooklyn. Prices will always be high. Unfortunately, I can't wait. The gentrified is selling. I'm searching foreclosures for a deal. So try maybe, the REOs have not hit yet. I always say if you're looking for a house right now, look on, like try to look at REO properties. That's HUD Home Store. That's homepath.com. That's homesteps.com. Right? Like, try those. If I was buying a house right now and I had to move, negotiate. Do not pay full price for anything right now. Right? Now, I mean, I guess if you are in a market where it's just, I know different markets function differently. I wouldn't pay full price for anything, right? Like, I'm not paying full price for anything sitting on the market right now. Not doing it. I would definitely look for an REO property, because you can use traditional financing with REO properties. The bank owns them. You can use conventional, FHA 203K. You can use all of that. You can also negotiate with the bank, right? Negotiate with them. Negotiate your repairs. Negotiate appliances. Negotiate the price. Negotiate with the bank. Now, if you are buying something on the market, negotiate with them too. Negotiate. I don't care what anybody says. Negotiate, right? Especially if you're buying a property and the home values are doing this, right? You better get you a good real estate agent that knows how to fight for you, right? Because you can't send over a lower price and not be able to back it up, right? As an agent, if you got somebody representing you, they need to like look at the market, see the price declines, formulate an offer, and then when you present it, you can say, hey, this is why we're offering this. But you know what I mean? You just can't send over a low offer and can't stand on it, right? They got to stand on business if they send over a low offer, right? Find you a good agent that'll do that. And don't go for the buy now, refinance later. Don't do that. Will your course help me with, it's a unique market. So my course, so the Auction Accelerator course, real quick, since we on it, it teaches you, let me tell you, it teaches you where to find auctions, right? It teaches you where to find pre-foreclosures, okay? That's the properties before they go to auction, right? Anywhere you live, it teaches you that. It teaches you how to calculate repairs on the inside of a property that you can't see. Like I've included like a repair calculator, a maximum bid calculator, an after repair value calculator, because all of this has to be calculated in your bid before you go to the auction, right? I teach you how to do a title search, right? I teach you what to look for when you're looking at a title. I give you all the 50 states, cities, County and deeds websites to go find yours. And then I tell you, y'all, literally, I give you everything. So you can get the course, use code birthday, or you can get just the forms, the resources, the calculators. It's a before you bid bundle, right? You can just get the forms and then you don't get me teaching you though. But if you don't know how to read a title, like you probably need me to teach you. But I'm just saying, all the links are below. Use code birthday on the course. Sassy girl, how are you? Thank you. My birthday was good. Thank you. Look at me. I came on here Sunday, so clearly I didn't do that much if I'm here Sunday. But I figured I'd come on here and talk about everything that's going on, you guys. So let's go back to, and you guys, think about, if you're new here, you just understand I just kind of jump all over the place sometimes. Where was I going to go? I was going to say, and think about people coming into 2020. Imagine if you were like bought a house, buy now, refinance later, struggle all year, go into 2024 and then somebody get laid off from their job, because you know they talking about layoffs. Like, y'all, that's why you got to live below your means. That is so hard for a lot of people to do. But you guys, and you see the jobs that are leaving are like, I mean, they're like middle class jobs, right? Like every time I see layoffs, every time I see in the headlines, the news, even though the news is like unemployment is low, everybody got a job, everybody got money, I don't believe that. But every time I see layoffs, I'm always like, I hope they didn't buy a house. I hope those weren't some of the people who just bought a house, right? About to get laid off. Did you see that? Hold on, I just got this article. That, who is it? Chase? No, Citigroup. So you know Citigroup, they were the bank. Already talking layoffs. Already manager positions, layoffs. Y'all, did you see like the latest article that just came out? Because you got to look at daily job cuts. If you don't bookmark daily job cuts, bookmark them, okay? Daily job cuts. It tells all the people who are laying off, all the companies that are filing bankruptcy, all that, right? So I was on, y'all always check every day, kind of see who's laying off. Citigroup employees, you guys, check this out. Citigroup employees on edge over layoffs, told they can work remotely until the new year. So I guess they done told these people they can go home and work remotely all year, right? I was like, wait. And then when they try to log in on January 1st, it's going to be like access denied, right? Guess how many people though? Guess how many people? 240,000. 240,000 employees were told that they can work from home until the end. I'm like, they're not going to lay off 240,000 people. But I'm like, they said the employees are on edge over the layoffs. So, the employees declined to be identified. But you know, Citigroup has been talking, I mean, all the banks been talking layoffs, right? Thank you. Massive. But think about that. You better hope these people hadn't bought houses, right? Or just went out and bought a car. Y'all know car repos are up. Everybody know car repos are up. Yeah, that's all I think. I'm like, if they bought a house, y'all, most people, let's be totally honest, right? Most people, even middle class people, right, live beyond their means, right? They use, it's just that, I can't think of the word for it. When you make more money, you spend more money. That, y'all, they always say it on Bigger Pockets. You know what I'm talking about. When your cost of living, you increase it, right? Because you make more money, right? And that's how most people are living, right? Even though they might have nice, like, BMWs or a nice house. You guys, let somebody lose a job, right? Most of it's on credit, right? Ain't none of that paid for, right? It's monthly payments on all those things. Houses, cars. Let somebody lose their job, right? Or let it be like one person working, like the breadwinner, the guy is working. Y'all, people can't function. Like, most people live outside of their means, right? Or their expenses take up their whole paycheck, right? Most people aren't saving anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they even said. They were like, that's how they predicted we were all going to be out of money in October, because the savings rate was down. People weren't saving as much money as they had been saving, right? So they can tell us how much money we hadn't been saving, but they can't tell us how many people are behind on their mortgage, right? They pick and choose to tell us what they want to tell us, right? Yes, people can work remote until next year is not layoff. True. But I guess they are afraid of what's coming after the end of the year. So they are told to work from home until the end of the year. And I guess the article is like, they're scared about what's going to happen at the end of the year, is what I think their point is. Since they've all been all of a sudden sent home to work, right? So hopefully not, though. You know what I mean? Hopefully not. Deficit spending. I have been comping properties up for August and getting used to running up. Good job. Yes. I know. I've been seeing your comments. I know you've been over there working and looking at properties. I see you. That's what you got to do, right? Be proactive, because when the flood happens, you guys, you don't want to be like, you know what I mean? We be so reactive a lot of times, right? When stuff happens, like, it could be anything, like even with health, right? I'm not going to get off subject. But we don't start taking care of our health and working out and eating right until we get sick, right? And then it's like, oh, I got to start eating right. We got to be proactive, especially with this real estate market, right? You got to know where to find the properties. Bookmark the sites, the REO sites. Bookmark them. Know how to submit an application. Know where the auctions are, right? Know how all of that works. Know how to read a title, right? You got to be prepared, you guys. Let me catch up. Yeah, nobody deals with Zillow, you know. Right, paycheck to paycheck. Y'all, I told y'all, one of my people in my mentorship, she's a nurse practitioner, and she was like, actually, these people are struggling. She said nurses at the hospital who have like 2 incomes. She said, I hear them talking about like struggling to pay their mortgage. So regardless of what the news says, that everybody got money and it's all pink starburst and unicorns, y'all, these people are struggling out here. That's why I don't pay attention to the news, right? Like, because they will tell you the house will be on fire, right? And they're going to be like, it's okay. It's just a little warm, right? No, the house is on fire and burning down, right? Let's have a look. Running numbers. People got to learn. Yes, new skills for sure. It is an election year. We all know that is the wild card, right? That's the wild card. We already see that veterans foreclosures have been extended through next summer, right? So I'm sure when these people who came out of forbearance, this COVID forbearance, once they all start missing payments, if they miss payments, that'll probably kick in another forbearance or some kind of assistance, I'm assuming. I don't know, you guys, but we're going on 3 years. Think about that. 3 years of people not paying their mortgage. I think they said almost 20%, like FHA said almost 20% of their mortgages were in default right now. And you know, when people start quoting numbers, I do not believe that. So if they're like 20%, it's probably like 30%, right? They said, FHA said almost 20% of their loans are in default right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't know how much longer these banks can hold on, right? And every time I look, I think Memphis is foreclosure. I looked at their list Friday, and the list was so long on Friday. I was like, golly. It was super long, and it's a lot of investors on our foreclosure list, our public notice list. It's a lot of investors right now foreclosing. I mean, if you can't sell your property, the tenant's not paying, you know, you're going to pay your main mortgage before you pay that second or side mortgage. You know, if you got to pick which one you're going to let go, you're going to let go of their second one, right? I'm catching up, you guys. You're right. New skills, y'all got to figure it out. But sometimes you're like forced to figure it out. Like if a job lays you off, that forces you to get resourceful, right? Like, you start cooking in the kitchen and making pies and stuff, and now you all of a sudden become a baker. You know what I mean? I don't know, but you get it, you guys. Education partner bills 40%. Yes, I saw that. I was going to share that. Absolutely. 40% of 40% of people miss their student loan payments. Because y'all know they just kicked in that student loan. They sent me mine. It said you pay 0. I guess they saw my channel. They probably saw me talking about them and was like, give her another break. Because it said you owe, and I was looking because I was about to delete that email. And I looked and it said, your payment is $0. And I was like, good, because they probably weren't going to get any more than that anyway. Yeah, people are not. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. There will be a lot of houses on the market, for sure. Yep. You guys, people can't pay. Like, it's just, and I know they keep saying unemployment is down. There's so many jobs. Now, it's like part-time jobs, right? Like, that's what I keep saying. It's not like full-time, good-paying job. They're making, like, for every full-time job, it's like 2 part-time jobs, right? Like, the layoffs are coming, you guys. They are coming. Pennsylvania, yep. You know, if things are bad, ask your friends who work at banks. They see everything. But the bank's laying off. Every time I go to the bank, it's empty. I'm like, it's never like empty in the bank. When I go get my like $2, it's empty in the bank. But they're also, you know, all the banks are laying off. 156 branches. Who's it? Chase? It's like, I'm always like, where are these people? Like, I hope they didn't buy a house. That's all I can say. I hope they didn't buy a house. I hope, you know what I mean? It's, you always, that's all I think. I hope they didn't buy a house, because if their job is gone, or I hope they can find a job that'll replace that money, right? Or you then gonna have to go get a part-time job, right? Yours were forgiven. I don't even want to talk about it, y'all. They didn't forgive my loans. I feel like I do community service when I come on YouTube, right? I feel like I'm out here doing community service. But, you guys, I'm self-employed, right? So it's not the nonprofit, I don't qualify for none of that, right? So, I'm just going to pray that my balance keeps saying 0. Chase and Citigroup, yeah. They are on the way. Near sales. So I didn't see any tax lien sales on the site. Just wait. Just bookmark the REO sites, you guys. That's HUD Home Store, homepath.com, homesteps.com. Wells Fargo has an REO site, you guys. They have their own. Go to Wells Fargo. They have an REO site for all their REO properties. Bank of America, I think it's Bank of America, has their own REO site. Just bookmark it. They are going to come. You know what I mean? They're going to come. And tax liens got to come. Y'all, people not paying their mortgages. They not paying their taxes. That's all I'm saying. And don't forget, even if somebody leaves you a property, you still have to pay the taxes on it, you guys. Don't forget that. So when Big Mama leave you a house, pay the taxes on it, okay? Because I auction off a lot of Big Mama's houses, okay? Because people not paying the taxes, or they are refinancing Big Mama's house, pulling the money out of it and not paying it. That's what they're also doing at Big Mama's house. Just taking the money and then not paying that refinance loan back. And then Big Mama's house end up at the auction with me, right? And then now I got to auction off your Big Mama's house, right? I see that a lot. I see a whole lot of airship properties where y'all get some life insurance and get a will and leave. If you're a parent, if you are a parent, you know which one of your kids have the most, that are the most responsible and have the most common sense, right? Get a will and put in there what you want to happen to your house, you guys. Because I auction off so many airship properties because they can't agree. Cannot agree. Siblings cannot agree. And then their house, then mom and dad's house go up for auction. Y'all, happens all the time. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell y'all. That's my daddy house. They didn't help on my daddy house. Blah, blah. Daddy should have had a will and some life insurance. Because now, y'all about, I mean, literally with like $150,000 worth of equity in it, went up for auction because the siblings could not agree on what to do with that property. And an investor picked it up, and all I could do was say, here's the investor who bought your house. Since y'all couldn't agree, he'll call you and let you know when you need to be out or what y'all need to do. If you know you don't have any kids that are responsible, you guys, I don't know what to tell you. But if you got at least one responsible kid and you have a mortgage on your property, let them know what's supposed to happen if something happens to you. That's all I'm saying. Tax lien properties. So you guys, I don't do tax sales. I did a master class on tax lien versus tax deed sales. You guys, you can get, you know, it's on the tax list, right? There's, what am I trying to say? They're usually at your normal tax assessor site, right? I have a list of tax sites that you can look on. What's another one? Civic Source is a good tax site, right? Miami does, oh, I can't think off the top of my head. I know Civic Source. I can't. I'll have to post them somewhere. I did a tax masterclass. It's in YouTube, you guys. If you go look at my live tabs, just go down and it'll say like tax lien versus tax deed. Boom. I did a whole masterclass on it, websites, everything. Okay. If you got a question, I will try to answer it, but I don't do tax sales. You know what I mean? And a lot of y'all are asking me about this surplus, I think taxes, like with tax liens and foreclosures. Y'all, I don't work with that. And that is like still new to me. I've heard a bunch of people talk about surplus funds, like after the auction. I'm assuming like, I don't know, from what I heard about that, you guys, it's like when the property sells, like I guess for like tax deeds, I don't know, if the property sells for more than the tax amount, y'all find the homeowners and let them know that there's a surplus. Y'all, I don't know. Like I keep hearing people talk about that, but I'm not familiar with that at all, right? I don't know. And people have asked me, how do you go about finding owners or something? Y'all just gotta skip trace them, right? Y'all gotta get your list and skip trace them, I guess, is the best thing I would tell you to do. But a lot of people have asked me about surplus deeds or surplus funds or something. Now let me catch up. Good for you if your loans were forgiven, you guys. Things are bad. Ask your friends. Yeah. Okay, so since it didn't have a tax, got you, layoffs on the way. How did they forget? How did they forgive the student loans? Look, I don't know because mine didn't get forgiven. You got to ask the people who got their loans forgiven. But I think you got to work for like a nonprofit, or you got to work for the state, or you got to make a certain amount of payments, like 100 payments or something. I don't know because mine not forgiven, so I don't know. I live in Memphis, Salvador. Crime been up in Memphis. Let me tell you. That's why I don't door knock. Y'all, I do not door knock. I don't cold call. I know a lot of people cold call. Like in our mentorship, I'll bring in somebody to teach you how to cold call. I don't cold because I don't even want to get cursed out. Right? I don't get cursed out. And I don't door knock because I don't want to die. You know? Can you explain which auctions give people the opportunity to go into the redemption period and which do you get the property shortly after auction? Okay, so let's talk about auctions and redemption periods. Thank you, Adam, for bringing it on back home because I can talk about everything around the world, can't I? I recently went to a county auction at the courthouse steps, and there was also a sheriff auction that took place there right after. Yes, so sheriff auctions. So I do trustee sales. I'm at the courthouse. So right of redemption depends on the state. It depends on the state. Here in Tennessee, right, Shelby County, we don't have right of redemption. So if I auction, that's why I tell everybody, if your property goes up for auction, right, you can't get it back. You can't come back and get it. That's why I be trying to tell all these siblings on this airship property, if I auction it off, you can't come back and get it. But there's right of redemption on tax sales. It's always right of redemption on tax sales here in Tennessee, everywhere. But right of redemption, it depends on your state. Foreclosurelaw.org is a great website to look up right of redemption laws where you live. Okay, and a lot of times it depends on how long that property's been vacant, the right of redemption. So for everybody who does not know, that means if you go to the auction, purchase a property at the auction, there is a time period that the homeowner can come back and redeem the property. But they have to pay all the fees or whatever was paid. But I always say, do not pay the taxes. Don't pay the taxes, right? If there are past due taxes, don't pay them. And I really wouldn't start repairs, right? Or I'd be very careful about starting repairs until you get the deed in your hand, okay? So keep in mind, at the courthouse, I don't give out deeds, I don't give out keys, I don't give out refunds at the courthouse, okay? So, but I do require your payment in full certified funds at the courthouse. Other auction platforms work differently, okay? Some let you put down a deposit and come back 24 hours. If you're online bidding, they might let you wire the money within a certain amount of time. At the courthouse, I need your money in the full amount in certified funds. That's a cashier's check or that's cash, okay? So that means if that winning bid is $5,000, $50,000, $500,000, $5 million, I need it in full as soon as the auction is over, okay? But I don't have refunds, I don't have keys, I don't have deeds, okay? All of that comes in the mail. So the point, because I always take the scenic route to explain something, right of redemption. I don't have deeds. So when you pay, right, I'm sending the money to the attorney, the trustee, they will send you your refund and your deed in the mail. So what I'm saying is, even auction.com is like, don't go to that house until you get the deed, right? And again, people could be living in that house, right? People are still living in that house. Well, not all the time, but it's part of your due diligence to find out if somebody's living in that house before you buy it at auction, right? So, right of redemption, basically, you know, it might take a minute for you to get the deed. And the point is, don't do any repairs on that house because you will get your money back for what you paid. But if you do repairs on the house, you're not getting that back, right? And I've asked a couple investors about taxes and they were like, I don't pay taxes until I get that deed, right? So that is my recommendation. I hope that makes sense. But just know what your laws are. Wherever they're different states. Might be 30 days, 60 days. They're different everywhere. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Adam, I hope that makes sense. You forgave your own student loans? Yeah, student loan forgiveness. Chase. I saw Chase was giving $250,000 for no documents. Y'all, when money is short, when money is low, when business is low, maybe they will come out with some incentives. Always. That just lets you know, you guys, that just furthermore proves the point. When you start seeing all these incentives, all these things that you would never think of, right? When builders start offering all these concessions, when banks start trying to give you some money, just know, you know, be very careful. When all of a sudden everybody loves the minorities and the people of color and come get a loan, just know it's really slow, okay? So be very careful. I saw that. No documents. I think it's for small businesses. You can get up to $250,000 with no docs, but they said it's based highly on credit is what I understand. Y'all remember back in 2008, they used to have ninja loans. I always talk about that. Ninja. That's what got us in trouble. No income. Ninja. No income. No assets. No. NJ. What is the other one? Why can't I think of this? It was something. I can't think of what it used to stand for. But anyway, I thought of it the other day, but clearly my mind is blank. Be very careful. Just be very mindful. I see a lot of emails come across like, come get this, get a personal loan. You can buy a house with no down payment, 100% financing, no credit score. Be very careful. That's all I can say. Be very careful. Yes, HUD Home Store, homepath.com, homesteps.com. Bookmark those. Wells Fargo has an REO site. Bank of America has an REO site. Bookmark them, you guys, because they might not be here now, but they will be. Look, but they will be. They're coming. I see them. Half the properties that are going up for auction right now, I've always said this, just bought 3 years ago, which is really sad. You know what I mean? Which is really sad. Because a lot of people who just bought, like, drained their bank accounts, trying to pay for these properties and overpaid for them, and now to lose them. You know what I mean? And to lose them. It's really sad, honestly, you guys. You guys, y'all are talking and I'm trying to I see it, but let me catch you guys. You watched The Big Short and 99 Homes. Thank you for reminding me of that. My 3 recommendations, y'all, if you've been here, you know. My 3, I am obsessed. Obsessed. You know I'm obsessed if I decided to whisper, right? Obsessed with the last real estate crash. I was 21, right? I had my license, but I was 21, right? Y'all, I was 21, 2006. That lets you know how old I am. Y'all, I got a loan. I was in college, right? With no job. And they gave me a loan to flip a house. That's all I'm saying. So, 3 movie recommendations just that I really like. Big Short. Everybody knows The Big Short. Great movie. Most people have heard of it. 99 Homes. What did you think of it, Adam? What did you think of the movies? Big Short, 99 Homes. There's profanity in 99 Homes. So if you got kids, don't watch it with your kids. That's all I'm saying. It's a good movie about this real estate agent that just watch it. It's good, but it's kind of sad. It's very sad. When people were getting their homes taken back in the day and how some people were scamming. All I'm going to say, scammers gonna scam. Right? And in the movie, it shows this one part where the people get put out of their home and they go to a extended stay, like hotel, right? And the extended stay is full when they get there, right? Like full. And you just see people in their trucks with furniture in the backs of their trucks at this extended stay because so many people were put out of their house, right? And it's true. That part of the movie is true. They said extended stay capacity was full back in 2008 when people were getting put out of 2010, y'all. Like 1 million people lost their homes. 1 million. That was the peak of our foreclosures. 2010. So understand, this is what I also want everybody to understand. It's a lag in foreclosures. It's a lag when things happen, especially foreclosures, because you know they try to save them and they come up with incentives and they'll postpone it and they'll, you know what I mean, you try to get assistance or you try to catch up. So it's always a lag when it comes to foreclosures. So even though the market tanked in 2008, foreclosures didn't hit until 2009 and the peak was 2010. So be patient. Don't buy a flat screen TV. That's all I'm saying. Your Christmas tree does not have to be packed. It's all I'm saying. Them kids ain't playing with the toys anyway. They play with like 2 toys. So, pay your credit cards down. Save some money. Because y'all going to be mad when I get my beach house in Florida for $45.17. Y'all going to be mad. And I'll be like, I told y'all to get ready. I told y'all. Y'all saw Signature loan. The Signature bank that collapsed at the beginning of the year. They sold all their commercial properties for what, 69 cents on the dollar? During the last crash, people were buying houses for 50 cents on the dollar. Half off. Half off. And keep in mind, REO properties, I keep telling people, because some of y'all are like, Ashley, I don't have the cash. Ashley, how am I going to be able to take advantage? You guys, REO properties, you can buy them with a loan, right? But you need to have your credit semi together. You need to have a little money in the bank, right? If you got to come up with a down payment. But you can still capitalize off the market even if you can't come see me at the auction. I would love to see everybody at the auction, but everybody can't come to the auction, right? Because I require cash up front, all of it. But the REO market, you guys, you can use traditional financing, a conventional loan, an FHA loan. You can still take advantage of this market, you guys. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. So don't let it be an excuse because you can't come to the auction or you don't have a lot of cash. You have time, okay? That's why we are being proactive right now. You've got time. Pay down your credit cards. Don't buy flat screen TVs. Save some money. If you don't believe in the bank, put it under your mattress. Do whatever you got to do. Just put the money under your mattress. If your grandma said don't put the money in the bank, don't put it in the bank. Put it under your mattress, right? Okay, you guys, let me catch up because I can talk and then I miss y'all. Oh, Big Short. See, Big Short, 99 homes in the inside job. Okay, Big Short, everybody knows what that's about. Inside job, I just told y'all, scammers gonna scam. And the inside job is a documentary, basically, of kind of like The Big Short. The Big Short is a movie. The inside job is a documentary where they interview the people who were involved in the last crash, right? Interview the real people. You're probably going to be pissed off after you watch it. I watched it like 100 times and I'm mad every time I watch it. That's all I'm saying. Because you see how they knew exactly what was going on. They knew exactly what they were doing. Exactly. So, Big Short, 99 homes, and the inside job. Watch them. And then come back and tell me what you thought about them. Don't let people move with, and don't co-sign. Don't co-sign. I said this. I wrote a book. It's been some years now. The Single Lady's Guide to Buying a Home, right? And one of the chapters was called, No Matter How Fine, Do Not Co-Sign. Don't co-sign for anybody, you guys. Period. I don't even have anything else to say after that. Period. Don't co-sign. Aries start January 4th. The list is released every Thursday. Okay, thank you, Kelly. Where are y'all from? Frida from Philly. I see you. Y'all tell me where you're from if you didn't tell me. 99 Homes. Need to see 99 Homes. Y'all tell me after you watch that. Bob Diamond teaches on this. It's called tax overages. Okay, is this like the tax surplus that everybody, y'all keep emailing me about that? I don't do that, you guys. I know y'all think I know everything. I don't. But at least I try to find it, right? Y'all, I think I'm going to do the masterclass on January on REOs and foreclosures again. What do y'all think? I mean, I've already done it. But it's a lot of people who still, I'll teach it again. REO versus auction properties. I think that'll be January. Unless I come up with something else. But that's probably be January. Y'all know the last masterclass was Thursday. And it was on due diligence before you bid. Right? Everything you need to do before you bid. I gave away a property tracker. It's an auction day checklist. All of that is below, you guys. Look below. Free. If you're on my newsletter list, y'all got it for free. You just got to open the newsletter. Just open it. And they're all free. Free things. Big Short. Do you have any other movies you would recommend to learn about real estate? Inside Job. I watched another movie. It was not as good as Inside Job. The Men Who Stole the World and Got Away with It. Not as good. Kind of good. Not as good. They interviewed like the one guy. There was only like two guys. Y'all remember when the market crashed? Nobody got in trouble for it, right? Nobody went to jail. Nothing. They got those bonuses and walked away, right? Two guys went to jail, right? And the Men Who Stole the World and Got Away with It, they interviewed one of the guys who went to jail because of the last crash, right? So they interview him, and then they interview some other people who were involved in it. Good. Not as good as the Inside Job, though. Not as good as the Inside Job. For the record. A foreclosure ends with a public auction where the property is sold to a new owner. Yep. When a foreclosure sale results in surplus funds, money over and above what's needed to pay off. So, you know, they just passed a law, right? Which I think is kind of crazy that it was just passed. That now the homeowner can get the surplus funds, right? Like they went to court and everything because I guess a lady lost her house to foreclosure, and it was like a ton of money, like $70,000. Like the loan balance was, just for the sake of it, like $40,000. Her house sold at auction for like $100,000, right? So there was a $60,000 overage, and the bank took it. Like said it was some fees and all. The bank is gonna bank. The bank is gonna be a bank, right? So she went to court. They went to court and they ruled for her that the bank should have gave her that excess money, right? And this literally just passed like 3 months ago, which is crazy, honestly. So But yeah, I don't know too much about that. I think people, do y'all help? I think they help people get the surplus money, and then they charge them a fee for help. Y'all, I don't know anything about that. I promise I don't. And I don't want to make it up because I can make something up. So I don't know how that works. Okay, y'all, let me catch up on these. They make subject to impossible. So subject to, from what I understand, you guys, because I don't do subject to either. It's kind of like assuming, right? It's kind of like assuming the loan, but not going through the bank, but talking directly to the homeowner. Who does that? PACE is the guy who is over the subject to. But what happens if, like, somebody, if the homeowner filed bankruptcy? Then what happens to the subject to deal? Will they call that loan due? I don't know, you guys. You know, I try to talk on what I know. I don't really know that. 120 payments. Oh, well, I know I ain't made, Salvador, I ain't made 120 payments. So I know that ain't me. That is not me. Look. Personal credit they use. Don't touch the house until you get the deed. Yep. Yep. I have heard an investor said that he did the repairs and they came back and redeemed it. You better be very careful doing repairs and you don't have a deed. Even on auction.com, they tell you don't go to that house until you get a deed, especially if somebody live in it. Be very careful going to a house that people live in it, but that's part of your due diligence. Before you go to the auction, you should know whether or not somebody lives in that property. That's your due diligence. Drive by, do a title search. You got to do it, right? So, and what's the other one I said? And check for past due taxes. Taxes are not included in your winning bid if you go to the auction. Taxes are not included in the winning bid at the auction unless it's a tax sale. But foreclosures, no. So you got to check those taxes. You got to check the title to make sure you're buying the right lien, or your feelings going to be hurt all year. Your feelings going to be hurt all year if you buy the wrong lien. And drive by the property. Drive by the property, see what repairs you can see, check the exterior, roof, siding, windows, landscaping. See what you can see, you guys, because you can't see the inside of those properties at the auction. So that's why I'm going to do this auction REO class. Again, auctions, you can't see the inside of the properties. REO properties that are owned by the bank, you can go inside of them. You can walk around. You can get an inspection. You can get traditional financing. You can back out of that deal. You can negotiate with the bank. That's a lot more people's comfort level. A lot of people will not buy a property that they can't see the inside of. You know, everybody's risk is not set at auction. It's set at REO, right? Most people will not buy a property blind. Most people will not. So, REO property, you can go see it. Auction property, you got to drive by it. Do whatever you can do to try to see what you can see, right? Drive by in the daytime. Drive by at the nighttime. The daytime, it might be nice and quiet. The nighttime, it might be the trap house or the crack house. You don't know. That's why you got to drive by and do your due diligence before you go bid, right? Because if you buy a property and tenants are in it, you are responsible for the eviction fees, okay? You got to make contact, cash for keys. I always tell people in the mentorship, in the auction accelerator course, I give you a cash for keys letter, a couple of different letters. Lead with love, because those people are in your house and you don't want them to tear it up. So try to lead with love if you buy a property and people live in it. Offer cash for keys because you don't want them to tear up your house. That's all I'm saying. But again, you should know that before you go to the auction if people live in it. Yes, beware. Okay, I'm catching up. Can you post them here, please? Stacy, what you want me to post, Stacy? I'm sorry. What you want me to post? I've been listening to Mortgage Loan Officer about new loan products. It's getting real interesting. It sounds like they coming out with no score loans, no doc loans, no. But let me tell you, when times get tough, people get desperate. Banks are in business to make money. At the end of the day, nobody ever needs to forget that. When they come out with different loan programs, I don't care if it's for black, brown, yellow, red people. It's not all of a sudden because the goodness of their heart, oh my gosh, I feel like we need to give money. No, times are tough and we need to make money. You guys, did y'all not see this? I talked about this before. The CEOs of the bank meeting with Congress last week because they want to put restrictions telling banks to hold more reserves. Y'all need more reserves so you don't collapse. Jamie Dimon, all of them up there like, nope, that's not what we want to do, right? We don't want to hold any more reserves. We want to, invest y'all's money, right? And I feel like, what is it? Basel Endgame, Basel 3 is what the new legislation is called, where they were telling banks that they need to hold more money in reserves. Because y'all know that's what happened to Signature Bank. They were out of money. So Jamie and all, like Jamie on first name basis, Jamie and all of them were like, no, we don't think that's a good idea. You don't need to ask us to hold any more money. And they were like, it won't even be good for the American people if we did that. I'm like, probably because they ain't got the money to hold it. They said if 1% of people went to the bank and pulled their money out, they wouldn't have it. They don't have it. It's not like our money's sitting in the bank. You know what I mean? You put it in and they go invest it, right? Like mortgages, right? But most people don't even know that, right? So, and that's like what happened in the last crash, right? That's why go watch The Inside Job, right? I always say this. If you are a real estate professional and the only thing, if somebody says, what happened in 2008? And the only way you can describe that is by saying, they were just giving away mortgages. Y'all, it was way more than that. Way more than that is what happened, and how the whole, if they were just giving away mortgages, our whole real economy would not have crashed if that was it. It's so much more to that, right? And again, most people don't even know how the real estate market works. Y'all don't even understand that there's mortgage originators, servicers. As soon as, you sign that paper, they sell your loan. Boom, like so much goes into it, right? So anyway, go watch The Inside Job and The Big Short. The Big Short talks about it too. You gotta watch some predatory lending. 99 homes, lots of friends in The Big Short. Yeah, lots of him. A lot of people lost their home. Do not even feel bad. So many people lost their 2010, 1 million people lost their homes. 1 in every, what did they say? 1 in every 10 homes in Arizona was in foreclosure. 1 in every 10. Y'all, think about that. That's like insane, right? 1 in every 10 homes was in foreclosure. And like when you watch The Inside Job, like it's a part of it that's really sad, because there were mortgage people who were taking advantage of people, right? They were saying, sign this and your payment is going to be this. And when they signed those documents, their payment was like ridiculously high, right? There were, absolutely. And they were giving away loans. There's that part, if y'all watch The Big Short, where the strippers were talking about they had money because people were, they were saying like the documents were just being forged, right? Like people working as waitresses making, they said like $16,000 a year, right? Were falsely reporting that they were making $150,000. And that's that part that goes with on like The Big Short, where the strippers were saying that they had multiple houses because the documents were fraudulent. Y'all, it was just so much. Let me catch up. I always say that, and then, so don't feel bad. My point was, don't feel bad. So many people lost their house. So many people lost their job. I know plenty of people who lost their house in 2008, 2009. Just, just don't feel bad at all. Oh, Mental Money Podcast. I'll have to watch that. Lifestyle creep. That is the word I was looking for. Lifestyle creep. When people start making more money, they start buying more things. That's what they always talk about on Bigger Pockets, right? And it's so many people that have done that. So, you guys, if people lose their job, if layoffs come next year, y'all, I see people call me. I'm not talking about like, most people have an idea of what people look like who are in foreclosure, right? Hear me. It's people, middle class people, got kids in college, regular people who are about to lose their properties. Call me all the time. Great neighborhoods, right? So don't have this notion of what you think people look like who are in foreclosure. Because everybody, I posted plenty of times. It's a lot of properties in like California, Orange County, Beverly Hills that are in foreclosure right now. $7 million in foreclosure, you guys. Foreclosure, auction properties, they do not have a face. Let me say that. Anybody can get behind on their mortgage. And if you got a high ASS mortgage and you get behind 1 month, it's hard to catch up. That's all I got to say. It's hard to get. Y'all, it's 75 minutes. I always talk so long. We've been going 75 minutes, you guys. What's the third movie? Inside Job. Third movie, Inside Job. It's a documentary. I think I watched it on HBO Max. It might be on Amazon Prime. It's really good. Y'all, really good. You're going to be pissed off when you finish watching it, though. Because please believe there were plenty of people whistleblowing, saying what was coming. And they kept on, because they was making too much money. Making too much money. That's all I'm saying. We got to take care of ourselves. Look at me. We got to take care of ourselves. Save your money. Get your credit in order. Tell people no. Y'all know I don't have any problem telling people no. No, I can't go. No, I can't spend that. No, I can't. I'm saving my money. They're gonna say you're crazy. Y'all, I've been crazy for like the last couple years until lo and behold, here come the foreclosures. I told y'all. It was inevitable. Everybody, foreclosures aren't coming. We haven't foreclosed on people in 3 years. They're coming. It's inevitable. I'm not saying the real estate market is going to crash. The foreclosures are coming, though. For sure. Without a doubt. I talk to the attorneys, you guys. You forget, I'm like the inside person, not the inside job. Not like that movie. I talk to the attorneys, you guys. And I ask, and they're like, Ashley, we haven't foreclosed on people in 3 years. Y'all backed up. They are backed up. As soon as any kind of restrictions are lifted, they're going to start pushing these people through. But we'll have to see what happens. Again, it's an election year. We'll see what kind of assistance. But you can't save everybody, you guys. Everybody won't be saved. Again, in a normal housing market, people foreclose. We foreclose on 150 to 200,000 people every year in a normal housing market. Again, we foreclosed on 25,000 people last year total. You guys, it's a ton of people in the pipe. In 2020, the White House put out an article that said over 10 million people are behind on their mortgage. Now, what does over mean? I don't know if that means 15 million. I don't know if that means 20 million. Over 10 million people are behind on their mortgage. 2021, they released another article that said, that's why all this assistance, all these modifications, 30% of our nation was facing eviction. Renters. 30% of renters were facing eviction in 2021. That's why they started passing out renter assistance. Yo, that's like 13 million people. 30%, we have, 44 million people that rent right now? Y'all, we have plenty. And that's why I watch the numbers. I've been watching them for 3 years. And again, HUD's numbers are a housing survey, right? It's not the actual mortgage servicers reporting their defaults. I don't think they want to tell people what their defaults are. Like I said, FHA said that almost 20% of their loans are in default. FHA loans. We know veterans got a problem because they just put an extension on veterans until summer. And if y'all believe only like a handful of veterans are in trouble, think again, you guys. They're not putting a moratorium for 6 months if only a few veterans were in trouble. It's a bunch of veterans behind. It's a bunch of FHA loans behind. So, hold on, let me catch up because y'all know I can talk. Big Short, 99 Homes, Inside Job. I feel like with the REOs, they want a lot for them. You just got to wait. Wait the REOs out. It's only a trickle of REOs right now, right? When it's only a couple, they be trying to, But when they have too many on their books that they got to get rid of, that's when you go for them, right? Like I said, back then, people were getting them for half off. Half off. You just got to wait. You guys, that's what we got to do. We just got to be patient, okay? Be patient. While we're being patient, pay down your credit cards, right? Get your credit score as high as you can get it, right? Do the things that you can do to prepare. Don't be that person that's like, when the foreclosures come, you like, oh crap, like now what do I do, right? I need to pay. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Because how much am I paying for my beach house in Florida? $17.23. Right on the beach. It's what I'm paying for my beach house. So, it's more like a document where 99 Homes is stored. Both were inspiring, especially 99 Homes. Yeah. REO, real estate owner. Do not let family who was up during the pandemic now all of a sudden come live with you. You know they keep saying everybody still got PPP and stimulus. I'm like, I don't know who still got that. Run your numbers and negotiate the REOs. Trust me, some people, banks will be giving. Their banks will. You just got to wait. Just wait them out. But negotiate. I know with REOs, you guys, they will go back and forth with you at least 3 times. I know this. Don't forget I was an agent. I am an agent. Talking about I was. But y'all know I work on the investment side now. I don't really work on the residential anymore. But I dealt with REOs. You can go back and forth with the bank at least 3 times, okay? You can negotiate their price, repairs, appliances. Negotiate with the bank. You can lowball them. It's the bank. You know what I mean? Lowball them and let them come back and say, no. And then you go back again. And 3 times at least. Okay? Keep that in mind. Am I missing something? Y'all miss all the comments I'm saying. When the trustee auctions out the home on the courthouse steps, is it a combination of tax lien defaults and mortgage default, or is it one? All I do is, like, so trustee sells mortgage. Because, again, taxes aren't even included in the winning bid. So it's strictly mortgages, trustee sales. For me, it is. I don't know if it's something totally different, but I don't deal with taxes at all. So for me, it's totally separate. Only mortgage defaults at the courthouse. Just keep making the payments. Trustees, mortgage, foreclosures, accounting. Typically. Thank you guys. I done missed Adam question, but y'all done jumped in and answering. And already, of course, you do review requirements for finance such as credit scores, guidelines. So I don't have an REO course. I have a straight auction course. That is what I have. But, well, it's a live masterclass on the difference between REO but I don't talk about the guidelines. But keep in mind, check their sites, but you can get traditional financing. So whatever the requirements are to get a conventional loan, if it's a 580 credit score, 620 credit score, bank statements, check stubs, the typical process, you can buy that with an REO. You can buy REOs with that loan, is what I'm saying. So whatever that guideline is to qualify for a loan, do that and you can buy an REO. Trustee, okay. I hope I answered that question. What is the Eastern Shore? Is that movie hold on, what, sassy girl? So if you had the deed and repair within the right of redemption, can you ask for that money? See, that's the thing. Somebody asked me that. Somebody was like, if you pay the taxes, will they give you your tax money back? And I have, it's been mixed answers on that. But most investors are like, I don't pay the taxes until I get that deed in hand. Now, the deed usually comes within like 30 days. Usually. Here. See, that's the thing. Here, again, we don't have right of redemption here. So the deed comes quickly. Like, depending on the attorney here, they'll be like, come by the office and pick up the deed tomorrow, depending on the attorney. Now, if you live somewhere else and it's a year of right of redemption period, you got to wait on the deed. You know what I mean? So But most investors are like, they don't pay the taxes until they get the deed, right? Isn't the trustee the person working for the court auctioning the property at the courthouse? Yeah, that is usually the trustee. Yep, it's usually the attorney. A lot of times, the attorney that represents the bank is the trustee. A lot of times, I'm just contracted through here. Yep. But you're right. Auction websites. Don't read. The download is in the description below. Free download. Land auctions, commercial auctions, residential, and government owned, which is REO properties. It's a free download below. I also got an auction day checklist that is free. Down, I just updated it. It's very detailed. Very detailed. It's not pretty, but it's detailed, you guys. And it tells you, like, don't forget to look for the parcel number. Don't forget. Boom. So download that. That's free. Okay, you guys. Y'all been talking. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. Mental money went wrong, so even more flexible if you had good credit. Thank you for sharing. I think the Lumen commercial real estate commercial gonna be 69 cents on the dollar for signature loan, you guys. If you need commercial, I'm telling you, commercial. Let's all hope multifamily, like, not hope multifamily, but y'all know what I'm saying. Don't we all want a duplex or triplex or something for half off? Don't we? Ash, confirm consequences for bidding and not paying off. I see bidder walked away in notes. What happened? Yeah, I have never had a bidder not have their money, right? I don't know, right? I'm never, like, at the courthouse. So again, I'm in Memphis, right? So it's usually like the same people. But I know, like, tax sales, if you don't have that money, because you got to pay a deposit on some places. And if you don't pay that money within a certain amount of time, they'll keep your deposit, right? I know I'd be mad, though, if I call a whole auction and y'all don't have a coin, and they don't have the coins. I will remember that every day after that, right? And another thing, if you go to the auction, don't be surprised if they ask to verify your funds, because I know the guys at my auction here, right? But if it is a big auction, like if I'm auctioning off apartment buildings and that opening bid is like $1 million or $3 million, the attorney will say, verify people's funds before they start bidding, right? And I mean, so don't be offended if somebody asks to verify your funds, especially if you've signed in and registered to say that you are going to bid. You can go to an auction and not bid. That's what I tell everybody, right? I wouldn't entertain people anymore if they bid and didn't have no money. So what was my point? You can go to the auction. I tell people, go to the auction. Just don't open your mouth, right? Just go see where the auction is, see how quickly it gets bid up, all that kind of stuff. You need to see all of those things so you can be prepared. If it's 150 people there, what room is it in? You know, how quickly does the auction go? Know those things so you can go to the auction. You just don't have to bid, right? People go all the time and just watch. So go and watch is my point. So I think, y'all, it's 88 minutes. Like, this is as long as The Big Short. Y'all could have watched The Big Short in the time that y'all watched me. But I gotta take my kid to school in the morning. You guys, tomorrow is Monday. And I know on the East Coast it is 10:30, right? So I'm gonna wrap this up, you guys. Everything, free checklist, free downloads down below. Auction Accelerator, use code BIRTHDAY. The mentorship, the links are below. Y'all have been blowing me up about the mentorship. First of all, you gotta work if you come into my mentorship, right? Don't come over here and just talk to me, right? You got to work in the mentorship. And the mentorship is help people find pre-foreclosures, right? Before they go to auction, go straight to the source. I teach you how I do that, how I've been doing that for 3 years or so. You know, all the tactics that I use, how to negotiate, all that kind of stuff. The mentorship link is below, okay? If you don't want the Auction Accelerator, you just want the documents, the before you bid bundle. I just made that up. All the documents, the calculators, the title search checklists, the repair calculators, all the documents that come with the course you can buy them and just not have me talking to you. If you don't want me to teach you and you just need the forms, get the forms. I think that is it, you guys. Let me scroll. Y'all got questions. Okay, so yeah, everybody's saying good night. At the last auction, the brownstone I wanted back to the bank. Did it? So you know there's like reserve bids, and then there's reserve bid. I can't think, y'all. My mind is gone. Reserve bid and the other where there is no, what is it called, you guys? Absolute auction and a reserve auction. There it is. Absolute auction, that opening bid, I do what you would call an absolute auction. That opening bid is what you pay. You can bid $1 over. If the opening bid is, thank you, my dog Rex, representing from Florida. There's a lot of people here from Florida. Go find me a beach house for $45.17. Absolute auction. When I say the opening bid is $30,000, if nobody is there, you can say $30,001 and you get it. Boom. And there are no extra fees for me. People always ask that. Are there extra fees? Nope. I just want the bid amount, right? $30,001. At a reserve auction, and you'll see that on auction.com or someplace like that, they will say the opening bid is not the reserve. Like it'll be like reserve has not been met. The opening bid is just a starting point, but you got to hit a certain point in order for that property to sell. That's like, so maybe that's what happened with that brownstone. Y'all, I can talk my AWS off. Okay. Thank you, you guys. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Y'all know I'm on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. Subscribe to the newsletter. I send out a newsletter. That is it, you guys. I'll be back soon. Thank you for the birthday wishes, you guys. Y'all are amazing. Look, I even came back on here the day after my birthday. Can you believe it? So, all right, you guys. That is it. If y'all don't have any more questions for me, I hope y'all got something out of this. Y'all know I can talk my behind off. Like, clearly for 92 minutes straight. So, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Thank you, everybody. Danita, Michael, Boss Lady, our own beautiful, my dog Rex, William, everybody, Chandria, I got it. I know it's Chandria, not Chandria. Thank you, everybody. I will probably be back next Sunday. I will be back next Sunday talking about all the things that I need to talk about. So, all right, you guys, have a good night. Yep, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Coach J, Vanessa, y'all are welcome. Chandria, I got you. All right, you guys, I will see you soon. See you soon. And welcome to all the new people. Welcome. You have found this side of the world. Oh, I will not be here unless I'm up here trying to, I might get on here and wrap gifts on the live. So, we will see. I will let you know if that's the case. But I can't really talk if I'm wrapping gifts. So, anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Bye, you guys. Have a good night. I will see you soon. No flat screen TVs. No flat screens. So, my daughters, I'll send y'all an email. Tanya, thank you. I'll send y'all an email. Julian, the wrapping paper and me talking. I don't know, y'all. We'll see. Y'all subscribe to the newsletter and then you'll know when I'm coming. Boom. Okay, you guys. Bye. Bye. You know, this is like when you're like a little kid. On 3, hang up. 1, 2. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up. I'm hanging up. Bye, you guys.